This needs to stop, as there's been a ton of reports about Brandon Ingram getting traded from the New Orleans Pelicans, and now rumors are escalating about the Toronto Raptors being linked in some of these trade packages. And while Brandon Ingram is an awesome basketball player, a great fit, these rumors need to stop, as they make zero sense for the Toronto Raptors. And if the Raptors go through with this, I'm going to be right at Bobby Webster, Masai Ujiri's doorstep, yelling, what's going on here? What decisions had to be made in order for this to go down? And as I mentioned, this is not because Brandon Ingram is a poor basketball player. We'll dive into who he is as a guy and a player and stuff that could come in and fit for the Toronto Raptors. But in terms of roster construction, in terms of all the moves we've made over the past year, why this makes zero sense for the team right now. We'll also talk about Team Canada losing to Team USA last night in a brutal watch, a brutal game, especially late at night. So lots of stuff to dive into. But folks, again, if you want to stay up to date with everything regarding this Toronto Raptors team, we just hit 35,000 subscribers. There's still about 49% of you guys that haven't hit the subscribe button just yet. I mean, you guys have been crushing it, hitting that sub button. We're getting tons of new audience over the course of this off season. So it would mean the world to me if you guys could hit that sub button so you don't miss a single thing this off season. But let's dive into the news. Let's dive into what's going on, because frankly, this has to stop. And there's been a lot of chatter, buzz, DMs I've been receiving about Brandon Ingram coming to the Toronto Raptors. Now, these rumors started circulating about a month ago when a report came out from Clutch Points that started circulating that linked the Toronto Raptors to Brandon Ingram. I didn't even cover it because, frankly, I just feel like this makes zero sense for the team. But bring it up here now because they're starting to come back around. Essentially, this is coming from Clutch Points that Brandon Ingram now becomes the focal point of discussions. Ingram is entering the final year of his contract and has been made available for a trade. At 26 years old, there's still a lot to like about Ingram's game and his ability to be a primary scoring option. However, very few teams have shown legitimate interest at this time in Pelicans forward. That is likely to change once free agency begins to take shape. The Jazz have internally discussed the possibility of pursuing Ingram this offseason, and as will the Sixers if they are unable to land George. They end up landing George, so they're knocked out of the discussions. And two teams that are viewed as dark horse destinations for Brandon Ingram are the Sacramento Kings as well as the Toronto Raptors. Now, the Kings could be written off this list given the fact they just picked up DeMar DeRozan. They're in a little bit of a cap situation themselves here now at this point, but that leaves kind of the Jazz and Ingram in terms of people in this list of teams that were brought up in this Clutch Points report that are left on the table for potential trades. Now, again, this is rumors, this is Clutch Points, this is chatter, this is not Woj, Shams, any of these people coming out. So this is why the rumors are escalating, discussed, brought up, and only fuel was added to the fire yesterday. For a guy, if you're familiar with NBA Twitter, you know him probably well because his tweets get a ton of likes, a ton of recognition. He is a Bucks beat reporter, but he has these weirdly worded tweets that just get a lot of traction out there on social media. Basically, he came out and said Jake Weinbach said that the Raptors are a team that could fly under the radar as Brandon Ingram suitor. If Toronto is motivated to add Ingram to a core of Quickley, Barrett, and Barnes, they could build a trade package around Bruce Brown, another rotation player, and draft compensation. So this is the tweet that really sparked things, that got everybody fired up over the past couple of days, and the reason that I've been sent this stuff and kind of forced to make a video on it here now at this point, because again, people see that, they see he's an NBA insider, at least for the Milwaukee Bucks, but he does a lot of these tweets that are worded along those lines. Hey, this could be a thing. This is whatever, right? The word language. So he's completely in the clear if it never happens, but he can get people going, get the followers, get the interactions. So I respect the hustle, but it's getting sent this way, and I'm shutting this stuff down right from the jump. Frankly, it makes no sense for the team. Yes, Ingram's great. We slot him in a vacuum. It'd be a cool fit. 21 points per game, 5 rebounds, a solid facilitator as well, at that wing forward position, shoots 36% from the three-point line. He's a smooth, silky scorer, and he's only 26 years old, so not that much older than Scottie Barnes, despite the fact it felt like he's in the league for a very long time. He's a former All-Star, shoots 36% on corner three, so a good shooter, a good bucket getter. It's Brandon Ingram. Why wouldn't he fit? We have a bit of a hole at the power forward position. Him and Scottie can kind of combine at that, forward tandem, and then have RJ and Immanuel Quickley at the guard slots, and then we just have a well-constructed roster for this team moving forward. So Ben, why wouldn't it make sense? There's little buzz, little chatter. Why are you writing this off as something that just could never happen, should never happen, will never happen? Well, why on earth, okay, would the Toronto Raptors deal away not be willing to pay Pascal Siakam if they're just going to turn around and trade for a guy as a worse defender, a worse fit for the team, not ingrained in Raptors culture the same way Pascal Siakam was? Why on earth would they go through the hassle, the heartbreak, all the drama of trading away Spicy P, who plays the same pretty well position, is a little bit less solid of a shooter, but otherwise is a better fit for this Toronto Raptors team? Why on earth would we go through all that just to turn around and trade our draft compensation to pick up Brandon Ingram and then give him a contract that is going to ruin our flexibility, be a worse value contract for the team moving forward to the future? Why would we do that? It makes zero sense. And while, again, I was on board with trying to keep Spicy P, because I don't think this Raptors team wants to tank and blow things up, whatever. I really like the potential core of IQ, RJ Barrett, Scottie Barnes, Spicy P, whatever center you kind of have out there rocking. It is what it is. I like that idea. So Ingram coming in might fit that idea. So it might be just, a bit hypocritical for me to just write off Brandon Ingram as a potential trade piece, potential trade target for the Toronto Raptors. But you know what? Out of principle, out of just disappointment, had the Toronto Raptors go through all those trades, deal away Pascal Siakam on a contract, for a deal that is below market value. Spicy P, who wanted to be here, wanted to stay in Toronto, was bought in, won a championship here, to go through all that, to give up that draft compensation, Bruce Brown, essentially the deal that Buddy brought up, in that report, to go and get Brandon Ingram. On principle, I am against that trade happening. I get sunk costs, you can't look at the past, whatever. No, I will not be happy if that deal goes down. I would be very, very disappointed in us in our decision making to trade away Spicy P at that point. And again, the Raptors are moving in a new direction. They're going younger, and we see how handcuffed teams are now at this point with this new cap situation, the stuff that's going on, paying high players, and Brandon Ingram. Yes, he's a quality scorer, quality basketball player, but we have a lot of money tied up into the future where it just wouldn't make sense. Wouldn't make any sense to me for this deal to end up going through. So I don't know. Let me know if you guys agree in the comment section down below. But I'm mad seeing those reports pop up, especially my guy Spicy P getting traded. But and more news to get me fired up, to get me disappointed, and why I might sound like there's a little bit of lack of energy on this video, because I stayed up till 2:30 in the morning, 3 a.m. Newfoundland time last night, to watch Team Canada play out there in Vegas. One of the... Smoking my mic there now, too. It's a wild video here at this point. But I stayed up 2:30 Newfoundland time. I wanted to watch Team Canada have a little run there. One of the longest halftimes I've ever seen in a basketball game as well. Maybe that's just because I was tired and didn't have any actual temporal batteries there. And Team Canada comes out, has an exciting first quarter. I'm amped up, I'm excited, and then we just see us kind of get smoked by the U.S., which just sucks to see. I mean, we can bring up the stats here now at this point, pressing the wrong buttons, but basically, the front line of the Team USA absolutely rocked ours. Joel Embiid, Anthony Davis, Bam Adebayo really had their way on the boards, getting some rebounds, blocking a few shots here and there, especially Anthony Davis. We got outmatched in terms of the defensive end, just trying to stop those big guys coming into the lane and stuff. The rebounding is watching the game, something that killed us there at this point. I thought we did a really good job otherwise, on the defensive end. But when you don't have your Zach Edey, when you don't have even your Andrew Wiggins, who's a mobile kind of forward defender, the Team Canada is pretty thin on the front line. So that was tough to see. And frankly, just shots didn't fall. Shots did not fall for Team Canada there last night. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was 1 of 6 from the field, 2 from 2 points, and then 2 of 4 from the 3-point line. But we were missing shots. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Andrew Nembhard, Trey Lyles, Lou Dort, only 1 3 made and on 12 attempts. Jamal Murray went 1 of 5 as well, only 5 points in that game. Again, this was an exhibition, so I'm not too worried for Team Canada moving forward. And I think if we hit a few more of those shots, we probably win this game, in fact. So I really like the offense, the style of basketball that Jordi Fernandez was implementing on this Team Canada group. It looked like there was a lot of chemistry, but there were 2 problems. And one, 3-point shots were not going down. I trust Jamal Murray. I trust Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I trust guys to turn things around, especially Andrew Nembhard, the way he was playing in the playoffs. Those to start hitting, come Olympic season. But I like the style of basketball we were playing on the offensive end. I don't think offense is going to be a big issue for Team Canada moving forward. I don't think our perimeter-oriented defense is going to be a problem either. It's just, can we rebound? Can we really be effective, in that paint, protecting the basket? Kelly Olynyk, I thought, did a good enough job, given his size, athleticism, and stuff, and just the dominant presence of Embiid and Anthony Davis and these types of guys on the other end. But it's something. A few concerns will arise when you lose to Team USA, and I don't want to say handle the fashion, but it is what it is. Also, the Scrub Brothers are there. They're not actually on the full-out roster and teams of the team that's going to the Olympics from everything I've seen. They're just there for the exhibition. There's a few Canada guys that were in training camp that got some run in this game. There's a random guy in the USA, too, that's not in the NBA, I don't believe, that was just out there playing with LeBron James and Steph Curry. I think his name is Potter. That was a pretty crazy thing to see. Maybe I missed on the broadcast and stuff. But I don't know. Team Canada, disappointing start. Not a lot of three-point shooting hitting, but watching the game, I like the offense they're running. We'll get as we get more of a sample size, we'll definitely be sinking our teeth more into Team Canada basketball action. But let me know what you guys think about all this in the comment section down below. You guys best think of this are subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already. I'm signing out.